see anybody else. Of course, we'd also like for you to remember, not only was he our family member, some other interesting things. He was an awesome cook and spent the summer with me and put on about 12 pounds. And that I think I've lost over the last couple of weeks. But anyway, he enjoyed cooking for me, and he said he had the mother hen syndrome. He would call and he'd say, "When are you coming home? I've got your dinner cooked and it's getting cold." Like, I'm on my way, I have to work. But he enjoyed the cooking. He was probably going to be one of his next projects, start here in Fayetteville. He was also talking about going back to school, becoming a professor and lecturing, which we all know he would have been great at. He also wanted to start a family, settle down a little bit, put down some roots, time to think about family of his own. But mostly just remember he was a beautiful soul that loves this earth and the good things that it gives us. And to try to thank everybody today that has helped with this memorial, and all of you that have laughed with us, cried with us, prayed with us, and prayed for us. I know I would leave somebody out, so I don't want to do that, so I'm just going to say thank you so much to everybody for everything you've done. And again, even though my heart, Jasmine's heart, Jordan's heart, our family's hearts are broken today, they're definitely warmed by the presence of each and every one of you here, because you are definitive living proof that he did make a difference, not only in your lives, but in this world. Thank you.
Father, thank you so much. You know that you and your family have just definitely become our family. And Jacob was like a son to us. He lived with us. We spent so much time together, and we got to know his beautiful mother and sister, and of course his fabulous brother and lovely nieces. Very special to Hamza and I. Kelly and Donna, please come up and perform a song.
We're here primarily to share a song that Donna wrote just about 24 hours after we heard the news. But I do want to mention a few things. First of all, I wanted to talk about the Peace from the Hill CD. I want everybody to take one of those home today. That's a beautiful compilation that must have been 4 years ago, more than 4 years ago. And it has a wonderful selection of poems and songs from people all over our community. And in addition to some poems from Jacob, and a song from Jacob, and the crew from the Ride to the End. It's a beautiful thing, so I hope you'll take one home. It was produced by his cousin, Steve Coker, who can't be here, of course, because Stephen is, I'm sorry?
Stephen,
Oh, he is?
No, he sits here with me.
Oh, there's a sitar?
Yes.
My goodness sake. Stephen Coker is in India right now, if you don't know that, his cousin. The other thing I wanted to mention is about Soldier's Heart. I am very thankful personally for a memory that I will never let go of. And I feel so lucky to have had, in my little studio, our home studio, Jacob came over to record 10 or 12 songs. I didn't know what was up. I didn't realize that I was going to be witnessing a living shooting star right in my own home. The most magnificent musical performance I have ever seen, the most riveting thing I have ever seen, happened right in front of my eyes, and it makes me shake when I even talk about it. I feel that album is one of the greatest pieces of art I have ever witnessed. And I hope that one favor I would like to ask of everybody in this room is to take that album home and help spread it through the world. I want that album to go further. That album is medicine for vets coming home from Afghanistan. And I somehow, maybe we can put our minds together and figure out how to get these things in their hands.
We're in Lebanon now.
There you go. That's what I like to hear. So that's what I wanted to say. And now I'm going to turn this over to Donna.
And one thing I want to say is that Jacob loved this community so much. And The last time we saw Jacob, he was at Tricycle Farms handing out pawpaws. He had gone out in the woods with Joshua, and they gathered a sack of pawpaws. If you don't know what a pawpaw is, it's this fruit that can only grow like in the wild, in the woods, up in the mountains. And it's like a mango banana. It's so delicious. And how many of you got a pawpaw from Jacob that afternoon? It was amazing. So this is Jacob's pawpaw. The last time we saw him, Jacob gave us a pawpaw, perfectly right, the color of gold, from a brown paper sack. He passed round those treasures like Jesus sharing wisdom with the lambs of his fold. Now Jacob had a soldier's heart, big as the world, a flag of peace he proudly unfurled, but his heart was so big that it could not contain all of the sorrow and all of the pain. Now you can't find a pawpaw in the grocery aisle. They love to grow wild by a clear mountain stream. Jacob's flying high now over those hills, and in each one of us he planted a seed. Now Jacob had a soldier's heart, big as the moon, the banjo his weapon, his message a tune, with the strength from the eagle soaring above. With his warrior spirit he shared his great love, shared his great love. Now Kelly and I, we never tasted pawpaw. We ate with our fingers, they dripped down our chin, sweet as the spirit of our dear friend Jacob, gonna grow a patch of pawpaws in memory of him. The last time we saw him, Jacob gave us a pawpaw. We love you all, everyone in this community. Jacob, everyone in this community.
Jasmine was Jacob's sister. Jasmine, George McBride, and JC, hopefully something. Jasmine and JC.
Oh, wow.
So many people, it's overwhelming. I just want to say thank you all for coming. I'm Jacob's younger sister. We're about 15 months apart. She's 15 months older than me, and it was me, and then George was the baby. It was our baby, always. We really did grow up on the top of a mountain. He was not kidding. He told you people that. But nobody else for miles around, so we were each other's only playmates. It was just me and him all the time, and our home life was not always the most peaceful, but to Jay the most peaceful thing was to go out and run that mountain and climb those trees and play in that dirt and find animals that we probably shouldn't have been befriending, but he didn't care, and he was so special to me. You know, a lot of you knew him as the peace activist and the anti-war, which is so important that he was able to reach so many people in that way. But to me, he was Jay. He was my brother, and we had a really special bond all those years of just being playmates, and so just remember that how special he was to us as family. And the past few years, we had both kind of matured enough to come to the place to see that family is so important, and we had gotten so close, and he loved my two daughters so very much. And he was the fun uncle. I had to be the mean mom, but he got to be the fun uncle and take them out and let them get dirty and all kinds of things. So just thank you all for coming, and it's just so heartwarming for us to see how many other people loved him as well.
My name is JT McBride.
She wanted to tell this story, but she's kind of sad, so she wants me to do it for her. For her birthday and for Christmases and stuff, Jake likes to give them special gifts, not just something from Walmart, And her last birthday, she turned 8 in July. He came and picked her up and took her to Mount Magazine, up to the lodge that our grandfather helped get built. And he took her hiking and for lunch, and they went swimming. And can you tell me what Uncle Possum did? He wouldn't stay in the buoys, would he, in the swimming place? And he got in trouble, didn't he? And doesn't that sound just like Jay? Yeah, he didn't care about the buoys in the swimming area. He wanted to go swim in the rest of the lake. And she still remembers that, and she'll always remember that. So, thank y'all. Thank y'all for coming.
One more thing. This last Christmas, Jasmine and I made the decision that we were just going to dispense with materialism. And we drew names among the adults, and whatever gift, you had to make it, or talk it, or preach it, or sing it, or donate your time, or something. It just could not be store-bought. Well, knowing Jacob, he drew his sister's name, and he wrote her a song. And he performed it for us on Christmas morning, but he said, don't record this because I'm not finished yet, and when I get it right, I'll record it for everybody. Well, her husband, Justin, being the husband and father of the year that he is every year, turned his phone on and recorded it anyway. So if anybody would like to hear the sister song, Justin has it on his phone.
Put it on the microphone.
Yeah. What is that? Can you hear it?
We have recorded it now.
Just a pine tree and the wind.
That's what you call a bootleg. Is Adam Cox immediately in the house? Is Adam? Anybody seen Adam? He's outside? Maybe somebody could get Adam. That would be great. All right. Adam has just been amazing putting this whole musical creation together, so Adam, thank you so much.
Stephen wanted me to give this to place that.
Really? I have a book. Disappeared. This is great. Does anybody see a black binder? Oh man, I lost it. Oh, there it is. It's in my guitar case. Thank you. Goodness, that would have been embarrassing. Still kind of is embarrassing. I'm going to try to keep this short and sweet, hard though. I've known Jacob for the better part of 10 years. I met him in Fort Smith when I lived there. That was my stomping grounds. It's his stomping grounds too. And anyways, we go way back, and he stopped by my house one day. I'm not sure exactly when it was, a couple of weeks before he passed away, but he called me, he said, I've got somebody I want you to meet. He's in my car. I said, are you at your house? I said, yeah, I'm in my house. So he stopped by the house, and he had Jimmy Freeman in his car. And I helped him write the song, Jimmy Freeman, but I'd never met the man. And they just got back from a camping trip, telling war stories and hanging out and having a good time. And it was absolutely hilarious, every story that was told. But towards the end of us hanging out there in the living room, he said, just kind of randomly, says, hey, can you play that Dear Roosevelt song? It's a Woody Guthrie song that I put a tune to it a few years ago, and he said it was his favorite song that I did. And he just kind of randomly asked it. I said, yeah, I'll play it, you know, and so I pulled it out of a book and played it for him and Jimmy. And it was a good moment. And after he passed away, that song played in my head on a loop over and over and over again for several days. It was the only, I couldn't even think about anything else but that song. So I sat down and rewrote the song, and honestly, the original song is, Woody Guthrie wrote it for Mrs. Roosevelt, FDR's wife, thank you, Eleanor, whenever she passed away. And I think that he really enjoyed the song because, you know, the song says, this world was lucky just to see him born, talking about FDR. I think he really enjoyed it because he aspired or wished to have some politician or somebody heading something up that had the same heart and same ideas, and I think that's why I really liked it a lot. But I rewrote the song, and as it turns out, I really didn't have to change anything, but just the people and the locations, and everything else fits fine. Dear Mrs. Mulek, don't you hang your head and cry. His mortal clay is laid away, but his good work fills the sky. And this world is lucky just to see him born. He hopped on his bike, he rode out of sight, and he said to one and all, you money-changing racket boys have sure enough got to fall. This world was lucky just to see him born. In Chicago, at the G8, well, he used his gift of tongue to get you thieves and liars told and put you on the run. And this world is lucky just to see him born. I helped him write a song or two, then he learned me how to talk, and I could see his heart was hurt, but he learned my soul to walk. And this world was lucky just to see him born. He went back to Afghanistan. He tried to make amends. He loved the folks that wished him well, as everybody did. In this world, lucky just to see him born. I was hanging out the other day with all my friends, and over my shoulder talking, I could hear some soldiers say, this world is lucky just to see him born. Guess this world is lucky just to see him born. No, this world was lucky just to see him born. This world is lucky just to see him born.
So many people here from all over, like I say, people from Vancouver, Oregon, Philadelphia, New York. It's just a fraction of all the people that wanted to be here. I know of a lot of people that wanted to be here, wondering if we could Skype it in, put it online, you know. Anyway, they're all here in spirit, and there are memorials going on all over the country, actually, for Jacob. Humps and I were happened to be in New York City for the Climate March a couple of weeks ago, and got a call from Robin, who had been in touch with Amanda Spitfire, who told us that there was a memorial for Jacob in Brooklyn, and what a blessing it was to be there at Matt Howard's house, where 20 vets gathered from all over the country to tell stories and share and hold each other and build and create a beautiful banner, which I think is parked outside somewhere. Please take a look at the banner. By the way, that banner marched with 500,000 people in the Climate March also. Matt Howard.
So I met Jacob and Brock actually at the same time in 2011. They were coming through the Bay Area in a speaking tour. They were speaking about their experiences going to Afghanistan. And I was struck by the two of them because Jacob and Brock were like almost this study in contrast. Brock was, conservatively dressed, and Jacob was in a holy T-shirt I think he'd had for a while, cut off sleeves. And when they came to speak, they crashed at my house and had an opportunity to just get an idea of who they were. And I was just struck by how Jacob says, just to say I'm in Iraq Veterans Against the War, and a lot of my brothers and sisters are here today too. And I think that it's not all that often that people in our community can really that are really able to express themselves, I feel like, in a really open way. And I was struck by how when you talked to Jacob, he connected to you and saw you who you were without judgment. And I think that one of the things that I had the privilege of marching with Jacob in the NATO march, and as a lot of folks did in this room, I think, and he had said something after that I, like many things, that made me kind of sit down and chew over it and kind of challenged me, which was just talking about the Vietnam veterans that are around us and how they physically and figuratively held this space around us, this safe space, and how that doesn't happen that often with elders. And I think that, kind of that wisdom that he shared with, I think, so many folks in our community and the